In this video, we're going to show you how to find your convert ancestors. These are the first people on your family tree that joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is a great activity for a youth conference or ward activity. And one thing that can help you to get started is you can print out one of these free 6th-gen fan charts, or you can print one right off of Family Search, and we'll have a separate video to show you how to do this. But you can use this as a chart as you go, and you work your way up the tree and mark which of your ancestors were members of the church and which were new converts to the church. And the best way to start this is probably to talk to your parents or grandparents and just ask them about who in your family tree joined the church. And so in my case, I know that my grandma Fielder, my dad's mom, was a convert to the church. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my family tree. And so here I have my mom on the right and my dad on the left. And I know that my dad's mother was a convert. So let's click on her. And we can look at her person page. And then if we look under ordinances, I can learn a little bit about when she joined the church. So you can notice that she was baptized in 1955. So she was 21 at the time. And so I can mark her on my chart as having been a convert. Now let's see if her parents also joined the church. And so all I would do is I would come down here and I'd click on her dad and hit person and look at his ordinances. And his ordinances were completed in 1988 and he died in 1985. So he was not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during his life, but he was able to have his temple work done afterwards. So then I could mark him as not a member on my chart. Now let me go to my mom's side. I know that her ancestors have been members of the church for a very long time. So I'm going to hit recent and come back to myself. And then I'm going to click tree. And so here's my fan chart on my mom's side. And the reason I know they've been members of the church for a long time is if you look up here, there's Benjamin Franklin Johnson. He was an early member of the church. But I don't know about all these other family members of mine. So this will be a little discovery experience. So I'm going to click on Joseph Sr. And again, I can see he was born in 1840 in England. And I'm going to look at his ordinances. And I noticed that he was baptized in 1854. So he's about 14 years old. And so I know he was a member of the church, and he might have been one of the first converts on that part of my tree. So I'll just mark that he was a member. Now let's see if he joined the church. So we'll remember that date, 1854. And let's look and see when his parents joined the church, because this might have been a family that joined the church together. And so I noticed that his dad was baptized in 1847. Okay, so his dad was a member of the church, so I'll mark that. And it's actually really interesting to see the kind of ordinance history of different people. You can see that Robert Sr. was baptized and confirmed, but his other temple work was done after he passed away. And so this can give you some idea about the experiences that your family members had within the church. So what I would encourage you to do is just with your chart, again, just navigate your tree and use the ordinance tab to look and see when people joined the church, and look and see how it compares to when they were born and when they died, because that'll give you an idea about whether they joined the church while they were alive. And it'll also give you some idea of how old they were. And then I'd also look at the other family members around that person to get some context on how they came into the church. And you'll discover some really interesting stories just within the dates. My wife's family, it was really interesting to see the pattern that played out in which siblings joined the church over a long period of time. And it gave me an ideas for how to ask the right questions so I could learn about those conversion stories. But we're really grateful to Brian Boyer for showing us this idea and how to use the chart to do this. But try it out and feel free to leave any comments about this approach.